should I do when a gentle-headed reaches out to take my own? And how should I feel when tears of joy, they just won't stay inside these eyes? And what will I do when I start to love you and really trust and know you're there? You say you'll be in the light where I am. You'll be in the light where I am. Come on now, come into the light. You'll be in the light where I am. You'll be in the light where I am. Come on now, come into the light.
Om Shanti, dear family. A warm, warm welcome to everyone in the hall and online. We have a very special soul with us, our dear, dear brother Charlie. And we all know he's over 50 years in Gyan and brings a lot of wisdom with him. And recently someone told me about something which is called detached engagement. And I thought, yeah, that is really something that suits to Charlie. When you meet him, you feel so much engagement, you look in his eyes and you feel the drishti. But the next moment, he's detached with Baba again. So very beautiful on this topic today about yoga power and natural bestowing. And the first half hour, he will share his wisdom with us. And then Sister Ranjani will come at 6 o'clock and have interview with him. She's a jewel from Australia. She is since childhood with Baba, 40 years in Gyan, 30 years living in a center, first in Chennai, in India. And then she went to Australia, where she is in Glenwood Center. And she can sing, dance, rock painting, do origami, and she can ask very beautiful interview questions on the topic, being a natural bestower through yoga power. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. As I was sitting and remembering Baba in these last few minutes, I was wondering how you're all feeling being in Madhuban at this moment. Does it feel significant to you? Because we're sitting in Baba's home in so much safety, with so much love and care, and look at our world, there's so much upheaval, so much conflict in our world. And I was just really feeling how relevant the theme is for this season, becoming the bestower. Because it's almost like the scenes of drama are pulling us into that highest form of the confluence age, really, to really be Baba's instrument to give to all our brothers and sisters of this world. And I really love this theme because it seems that this life is to remember one and give to all. Take from one and bestow to everyone. And to me that really seems like the formula that works at this time. You know, each time has its own specialty, but it really feels to me that I'm with Baba and my whole life is just to express that feeling of love which we receive from Baba, which is like a natural bestower. And we all can feel, I think all the Brahman family is feeling we're in the final moments of this confluence age. Now when we say final, it could be a few months, a few years, whatever. But I think it's in the heart of absolutely everybody. And it's like dramas invoking us to step into that higher stage of the angel. And I think in the heart of all of us, in my heart, the image of the angel is the most moving, inspiring image, that really the angel's in love with one. And it's like that love takes me beyond influence. Why the angel has wings is because we fly beyond the influence of this world and all the stuff of this world, the body consciousness of this world. But then my whole life is to have mercy for my human family. And what I really love about an angel is that an angel suspends judgment. Excuse my throat. An angel suspends judgment. It's like I don't analyze why others are suffering, or perhaps it's their own behavior or their own actions. My part is to be with Baba and just give to everyone. And to me, a natural bestower never thinks really, I am giving, I am supporting, I am caring, I have to bestow. It's a natural consequence of my relationship with Baba. And probably the most natural expression of the depth, the closeness, the love, the belonging from Baba is to share that feeling wherever I go. And I mentioned this quite a bit recently because for me, I'm at a point in my Brahman journey where I love everything natural. And I feel whenever I sort of am pushing myself, pressuring myself, forcing myself, then it's like that's my old devotional approach. That's a very religious approach to this life. I really feel that the real Raj Yoga is absolutely natural. And the most natural thing, which is the seed of yoga power and being the bestower, is really just to fall in love with Shiv Baba. The more I go on in my journey, I might sound like a rusty record, but I really feel that this whole life, the whole foundation is falling in love with Shiv Baba, and everything just begins to flow from that point. That's the ultimate practice of this life, just to fall in love with Shiv Baba, because it's the most natural thing. It's in the DNA of every human soul to fall in love. And when I really fall in love with Shiv Baba, I naturally remember him. And that's what I like, that remembrance is a natural consequence of my relationship. I'm not sort of, I have to, I must, or I should, all that sort of language. And when I naturally remember, I will naturally transform. Because when I'm remembering the one who's egoless and incorporeal and viceless, automatically I start to move in that direction. And the automatic consequence, I feel, is that these feelings that I'm holding in my mind, holding in my heart, they start to express through my face, through my drishti, through my vibrations, through my interactions. And so in a way, my link with Baba, my relationship with Baba, you could call it the yoga power, automatically gives birth to that elevated self that just wants to share and give, not even consciously. It's just like a natural expression of me. And some of us were in the the integrated retreat, and there was a similar sort of subject because our theme is becoming the bestower. One meeting with Baba that absolutely touched me to the core was when Baba was speaking, he was sharing, and then he stopped. I always loved it, and then Baba began to just give drishti, and the whole atmosphere in the hall, in Diamond Hall, begins to change. And Baba stopped, and then he said, "Children, do you hear the cries of the devotees? Can you hear the sorrow in the hearts of your family, your human family?" And then Baba stopped again in drishti, and even the atmosphere became more and more powerful and focused. And Baba then said, "Do you just hear it, or do you do something about it? Do we just hear that, like what's happening at the moment in our world out there, or do I do something about it?" And then more drishti. It was like Baba was taking us deeper and deeper, and the vibration was so focused. And then Baba said, "O gods and goddesses, emerge the form of the bestower. You have to give, you have to give, you have to give, you have to give." Who remembers that, Moli? Who was present? Some of us were present. It just touched me so incredibly deeply. And I remember thinking that sometimes on this journey to learn about myself, we're all here in this incredible university to really understand the self and explore deeply and reveal my original true self. But in doing so, sometimes I can get so self-absorbed in my life and my story and how I feel and what's gone on. And it's like I get so lost in the inner world, and it can become very complicated, and I can feel a bit stuck. And I really feel that, yes, of course we have to go deep and see the self, but I feel Baba wants us to do that briefly, focus on that. But really this life is to give. And often I feel that actually stepping into the part of giving and letting go that part of sort of self-absorption sort of connects me to a part of myself that I've lost for a long time. And when I used to meet Baba personally, one of the things which I really used to experience, especially in the initial days when we had the fortune of these, face-to-face meetings with Baba. And you'd sit in front of Baba, and Baba would give long drishti, would always meet through the eyes. This incredible feeling sitting in front of Bap and Dada. And sometimes I felt Baba's, drishti was like a laser that went zzz, deep into the soul and scanned the soul. But always my feeling was that Baba saw me so elevated, and I realized I saw myself here. And it's almost like I think drama's pushing us to step out of this addiction to this limited vision on who I am and really step into that part of the angel, the bestower. And one of the reasons is I feel it's the thing that really transforms us very quickly. And I was reading one of the Avyak Mulis. There's actually a book, I don't know whether you've read it, about all the quotes Baba's given about being the bestower. And I was reading one, and Baba said, "Like the Father, give the congratulations and greetings of happiness to every soul at every moment." You think about that. Baba's saying, really this life is to be absorbed with one, and my whole life is, he said, every soul at every moment. And Baba said, whether they are Brahman souls, whether you've never met them before, whether they're souls without knowledge, whether they're contact souls, it doesn't matter. It's like our part is to give these feelings. And the language Baba uses, and also I love this, and I studied the Maulis for about 10 years from the year 2000 when Baba was talking a lot about these things. Always the language was, no matter what someone is like. You have to give them the attainments of happiness through your face, through your vibrations. And seeing every soul, Baba said, be happy and give happiness. So Baba pushing us into this highest part of the confluence age and stepping out of that sort of attachment, oh, I'm not there, I'm not good enough, I'm not pure enough. You know, we have this, I think, self-imposed prison that holds me back from stepping in the path that the whole world really wants me to play. And one part of this Muli, which was really amazing, and I'm sure some of you remember, Baba said, never react to others in the way they treat you or react to you. And Baba said, if they give you thorns, you give them roses. If they give you sorrow, you give them happiness. If they give you insults, you give them blessings. Possible? Possible? Doesn't sound very strong to me. We know, I mean, isn't that amazing? It's like not to take anything personally that's coming, because Baba then went on to say, why be influenced by those under an influence? They're under the influence of their sanskaras. Why should we take this so personally, where I start to respond in the same way? And yet Baba's trying to encourage us to step into that space. And I feel in the heart of all of us, we know we can reach that place. And yet I think drama's really saying, come, it's the time to really step into that elevated place of not reacting to the negative, but constantly giving the goodwill and positive. And in that Moli too, Baba gave an incredibly graphic image. And he said, today human beings are like polluting factories. It's an image I don't forget. And he described how, and just hold this image in your mind, there's smoke coming out of the eyes, smoke coming out of the ears, smoke coming out of the mouth. Just think of that like a polluting factory. And Baba said it's the smoke of the vices. And Baba said sometimes it's the smoke of anger, sometimes it's the smoke of jealousy, sometimes it's the smoke of dislike. And so it's like the soul under the influence of itself. And Baba then said, I hope Baba's children don't have smoke coming out of their eyes and ears and mouths sometimes, because you should have blessings and more blessings. Why? Because your part is to be the bestower. You are the deities. The deities are the souls who give. And Baba speaking so powerfully about these things. And once I was also reading where Baba was saying that the bestower is the master merciful. And Baba said to have mercy on the self. I really love this too. What is it? What does it really mean to have mercy on the self? Baba said, whatever you see, whatever you hear, don't speak about it, don't think about it, don't pass it on in any way, don't see it. Let it go instantly. And when you think about it, when we see negative behavior, attitudes, and we start to churn it, what happens to me? It's like I lose my spiritual power at that moment. And I get absorbed, I come under the influence. But if I can step aside and maintain my goodwill and let it go, then really Baba was saying that's having mercy for myself, that I don't fall into the old habit of critical thinking, negative thinking, waste thinking. And mercy for others. Baba said, whatever you see and whatever you hear, don't absorb it, maintain good wishes and good feelings. And Baba then went on to say that even one waste word, if I gossip, I pass on what I see, Baba said that seed creates a tree, and that tree becomes a rosary of waste. Sometimes, and that energy sort of takes me away from this elevated place I want to sit in now, which is really to be the bestower. And I've often think about these things because I really do feel this is the final part of we Brahmins to step into this place in a natural way. Because what is so lovely about this life is that the giving comes, it's the ultimate expression of my relationship with Baba. It's the most natural expression of my love for Baba. And in a way, that love for Baba we could call yoga power. Because to me, the most powerful thing, the most powerful energy, if you can say, is to have total love for the incorporeal. A pure thought of love for the incorporeal. The more I accumulate that energy of these pure thoughts of love, belonging, connection, it builds up within me and it automatically will flow out of me wherever I am. But I think the challenge for all of us is we probably talk more about yoga power than almost any other subject. But all of us know how challenging really to have that total absorption in one is. My own feeling is often we just sit down, want to go to Baba, and I'm pulled here, I'm pulled there. And over a period in my Brahmin life, I start to have this subtle feeling, I'm a bit of a failure at meditation, I'm not good at it. Because I just seem to be chronically pulled here and there, and the ultimate destination, rarely I reach this pure absorption in one. So I start to sort of deal with that. I start to put my energy into other things, service and the family. And yet all of us, I think, in the heart have this pure wish to have that quality of yoga. And to me, it's like the result of all aspects of my life with Baba. It's not that I just sit down and go there. It's like I have to build each step so that it releases me, so that I'm absolutely present and absorbing from Baba, and hence those feelings, those vibrations radiate, and this natural bestower stage really emerges. And one of the mulis which really helped me sort of, I think, start building this stage was when, and we revised it about a year ago, when Baba talked about the 2 principles of freedom. In other words, the 2 principles that as I sit to remember Baba start to free me from the attractions, the repulsions, the pulls, the influences, so that I can really absorb naturally in Shiv Baba. And those 2 principles of freedom were to have one Baba and none other. So it frees me from the pull to others. And the second principle was everything is Baba's, nothing is mine. And in a way, I feel that's the bedrock that we build a true yoga stage on. It's like, in a way, my yoga takes me to that place of having one Baba and none of the I and my stuff. But when I really sit with those 2 principles, it's like the bedrock that I build a yoga stage on. And the second thing I really feel is lifestyle. The more I've observed myself, and I really feel that my lifestyle, what I do during a day, has a massive influence on my ability to remember Baba. Meaning that, when I do actions that are not really accurate, and I often feel if I want to improve my meditation, it's not when I sit to meditate, it's the other 18 hours of the day. And this is why Baba emphasizes Srimat. To me, Srimat is a code of action, that when I do that accurate action, it doesn't pull me away. When I do inaccurate action, I sit to remember Baba, it's like my intellect's pulled to what I said to somebody, my intellect's pulled to my thinking about a situation, or I start to analyze something that happened in the day. And so it's almost like following the code of conduct. To me, it's not rules and regulations, it's like this deep code of truth of how to live in this world and free myself when I do accurate actions from the pulls, the influence, the attractions. So I'm starting to build my inner world so I can have this quality of connection. And then thirdly, to me, the practice of soul consciousness, to me, is the bread and butter of this life. And this is what the yagya was built on in Karachi, this deep practice of soul consciousness. Then love. The soul is freeing itself from all the pulls and attractions. I absorb myself in Shiv Baba, and I think that love takes me into like a silence where I'm just present in front of Baba, the soul. I'm not pulled by my sense organs and things to do. I'm present, I'm absorbing. And the quality of those thoughts and feelings, I think they just naturally begin to flow into my behavior and life. And this is why I think that the natural expression of this connection, this love, this belonging, is to give. And if you look at the great yogis in our families, the daddies, they were amazing givers. They never stopped giving. And that giving in itself took them to where they reached, I feel. Because what I've observed in myself is that the more I sort of bestow, so to speak, it connects me to my higher self. Because I've observed like 4 selves inside of me. There's my body conscious self, the one that's being influenced by my old self. We all know that self. The second is my Brahman self, which is my effort-making self, the one always in the process of learning and changing. But the third is the server self, the one engaged in serving and doing and planning and programs. And that's an important self. But the fourth is my benevolent self. And the server self serves through doing. The benevolent self serves through being. And that's the place where I think we all want to go, where it's not because you're clever and you're talented and you're skillful, facilitate or whatever, but your sense of self, your presence actually, enables yourself to give to others. And I find that the more I'm automatically in that place of giving, it feels a very comfortable place because it somehow connects you to your higher self, because you can only give from an elevated place. And it can bypass that body conscious self, that effort maker self sometimes is battling and struggling when I step into that place of giving. And I notice someone is just sitting beside me, perhaps, but I just want to share one more thing. That one thing I've realized too, that stepping into this part of the bestower helps me deal with one of the biggest addictions that all of us stepped into this life in having. And that's the addiction of taking, absorbing, being influenced. The nature of the human spirit at the end of the cycle, I'm empty. And I always want to fill the emptiness. So I'm always absorbing, taking. I want love, respect, all of those sorts of things. And it's like the whole framework of the mind, without being conscious, is I'm looking for love, belonging, care, respect. So when I take, it's such a deep habit to take hurt, take sorrow, take insult, take disrespect. How deep is it? When I came, I was amazed just I could observe how sensitive I could be. Just to, not even a word, but a facial expression of somebody. And yet when we step into the mode of the bestower, what's happening? I take from Baba and I'm starting to give. And this is why I feel service, whether it's the doing or the benevolence type of service, is such an important spiritual subject. It's actually a spiritual subject because the more I'm in the mode of giving, supporting, respecting, loving, the less I'm taking hurt, insult, disrespect. And I think that's the formula for now, to take from Baba and really to give to others. And I love, one of the last things is just, all the daddies, I can remember them saying, they talked about the philosophy of blessings. Because when I take from one and a natural consequence, I'm not thinking I'm giving, I'm serving, I'm just being, then what happens is automatically, unconsciously, you win blessings from the hearts of many. And I often observe Daddy Prakashmani, Daddy Jenki, that everywhere they went, everyone's faces would light up, would smile, would be loving. Imagine wherever you go in your life, you just get that energy of blessings, of goodwill. It gives you so much enthusiasm, no matter what you face, to keep going. Om Shanti. So we have Sister Ranjani here, and I'm going to tell you a secret about her. Today, or round today, it's her 40th birthday with Baba. And 30 years in the center.
Thank you.
And I'm sure she's embarrassed I'm telling you this. So.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Charlie Bhai, for wonderful sharing. First of all, congratulations to you on once again on celebrating Golden Jubilee in Gyan. So it's truly a beautiful milestone, right? So 50 years of learning, serving, and bestowing. So can we explore today's topic a little more with a few questions? From what you just shared, I mean, you said that there is this long-term addiction to limited vision, right? That's really powerful. And why and how do we get addicted to limited vision? And how to become aware of it and come out of it?
Gosh, where to start? But my sense of observing myself is that the biggest obstacle, I often think there's 4 visions on the soul. One is the world, we all get that, judged and labelled in a second. Secondly, it's other people. And we all had the experience of negative and critical vision. But the third vision is the vision on myself. And often, as BKs, when someone doesn't like me or rejects me, it's so hurtful. But I don't think that vision is anything compared to the vision I have on myself, actually. And the nature of body consciousness is I put myself in this box of limitation of what I'm not, rather than who I am. And that's where I think this whole life is stepping out of this limited vision and stepping into Baba's vision. That's the journey, actually. And I use that word because it's such an addiction. I know Baba says you're this, you're the bestower, you're this, you're that. He gives us so many wonderful titles and we repeat them, but do I really genuinely feel them? Or do I remain stuck in that place of self-limitation of what I'm not, what I can't do, and really to have the courage to step out of this, because I'm familiar with that. That's who I am for such a long time, to step and accept Baba saying, you are the angel, you are the bestower. Sometimes I feel I have ego, the soul feels I have a lot of ego thinking that, but actually Baba's vision is the true vision, my vision is the false vision.
And when I step out of that limited vision, of course, I'm allowing Baba to love me.
That's right, yeah.
It's beautiful. And as a bestower, if you're always giving, won't that drain you? And as a bestower, how should I fill myself? And how can I keep myself full so that I can bestow continuously? That is, what inner shift helps me move from effortful giving to natural, effortless bestower?
Well, I think all of us, it depends where you bestow from, and that's the thing, because, in the world today, what's the language? Burnout, And a lot of people working in the caring professions, it's a it's a common term, isn't it? Oh, I feel burnt out. I remember one sister in Australia that I met, a person, she wasn't with Baba, but she was a social worker, and I asked her, and she said, why did she come? She said, I have compassion burnout. She said, I just can't do it anymore. It's just, because I think when I do it from me, you know, I have to give, I have to support. It's just, I can feel so exhausted, so drained, so depleted. And the secret in this life is really, really to give. Really, it's a natural expression. I don't have even the consciousness I'm giving, I'm serving in a way. It's just, it's the way I express my relationship with Baba. It's a natural consequence. And then you feel even light, and you get the blessings from the hearts, even when you may be busy, busy, busy all the day. Those blessings keep you light and happy. Who heard Daddy Janki say that her formula was something like, you know, her progress was 5% her effort, 45% Baba's help, and like 50% the blessings, something like that.
Yeah.
I think I've got the formula wrong, but in other words, it's like really just those blessings just keep the soul very light. And if I'm feeling drained and tired, I've got to really go deep and think. I've been through that many times. And deep and think, where am I coming from? Am I still sort of, I'm serving you? It sort of has a slight bit of arrogance to it, doesn't it? Like, I'm okay and I'm helping you who are not okay. You know, like, no, I think it has to be really a natural expression.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And in this life at the present time, sometimes situations or even people are, they can be quite challenging.
Really? Has anyone else had that experience?
Yes, all of us. And what helps us remain a bestower in those moments without losing our inner peace or the inner stability?
Practice over a long period of time, because, you know, I think for me at the moment, probably my main attention is to be detached, but detached according to Baba's detachment, which I think is to be uninfluenced. And I've come to the conclusion that everything in this life should be natural. And when I really have one Baba, I'm lost in one Baba, there's a natural detachment. And I found in all the daddies that, you know, they were so loving, so close, so caring, but so detached at the same time. Because I think when you're lost in Baba, it pulls you sort of beyond, it's a natural consequence. And I've just found the more I've been in Gyan, the more sort of a part of the service team, etc., I've slowly felt less and less influenced by a lot of the ups and downs, the inevitable ups and downs. It's almost like we all have to experience that stuff to move into that stage. It's a part of the journey. And of course it affects you deeply sometimes and takes over your mind for days, sometimes situations or responses. And I found also the more you're engaged in service, you don't even have time to overthink, over-process a situation and go into that self-absorption sort of place where you go too deeply into it. So I think in a way we have to learn from it, understand, be prepared for the next time and move on. You know, it's like you have to bounce back really quickly. But I really feel, I remember once Baba said, children, if you don't become detached now, you'll have to become detached by compulsion. The drama's going to push us. And that's, I really feel a part of being the bestower is being detached, because if we're influenced by the suffering too, we can see it, but if I'm influenced, I can't really serve in that way. And it's sort of, you know, it's not that I lack mercy or compassion, I can still see it. But I know that if I absorb it, I'm less effective in giving or being an instrument to serve.
We all have that experience that detachment is the greatest armor, keeping me unaffected. Yeah, that's a beautiful insight. And, you mentioned one of the qualities of the bestower is having merciful heart. And you also talked about mercy on the self. As of course Baba says that have mercy for others, but first have mercy on yourself. And you also touched that point of, you shared about letting go of the critical thinking about the self, etc. I also am thinking about another aspect of that self-compassion or self-care. I remember once during a big Seva program in India, we were all involved in the service, very much busy in multi-tasks. And I was also totally engrossed in one or two departments. And I skipped meals and sleep. And at one point, I got severe headache and my body was very tired. And at that moment, one sweet, innocent Mataji came to me and she said, "Sister, give me powerful drishti." So I just looked at her, not giving drishti, and then I realized, okay, she is there in front of me. She wanted to take drishti. So I gave her drishti. And then after that, I almost dropped off. So Charlie Bhai, my question is, how important is self-care, both physical and mental, in becoming a bestower? And in your journey for over many years, how have you balanced inner care and also external care of your body, so that you can continue to serve and bestow?
I think, we all have our own method, but, we all go through periods in this life where we feel a bit, rough periods. And really the thing that works for me is just not take myself too seriously or get too intense or serious. And I find love is the great sort of balm, soothing.
Love balm.
The love balm. Just to sit in front of Baba and let Baba love me. And I just find you cool down, and then your perspective, if your perspective has been distorted by a person or a situation, it comes back. But what I've learned is self-respect in this case is so important, because if you don't have self-respect, you push yourself and you feel you have to fulfill the expectations of seniors or certain others. So you actually are very sort of self-destructive, trying to please others in that way. And I think a part of self-respect is knowing my own boundaries and what I need to do to keep myself happy. Because in a way that's the ultimate art of life, isn't it? To live with all the personalities and situations and keep myself okay and happy. But one thing I try to do is be kind to myself. Sometimes we don't achieve what we want. Sometimes we make a mistake. And the inner language can be so self-critical and so putting down, and that, it's that self-abuse or something when I go through and I haven't done what I thought I should, or people have given me feedback. And I just try, I'm on a journey, I'm learning, I'm not there yet, and just to be a bit kind, to myself. I remember once Daddy Janki asked me, because she knows my journey, and she said, "Do you ever remember the past? Things that have happened?" And I said, "Daddy, I have a selective memory." And really, I think I do. You edit out a lot of things that have happened, and that's a part of being kind, because sometimes we revisit something which was just, I really would prefer not to go, it just gives me a lot of sorrow if we go back to those places. So I think being kind to the self is really deep spirituality. We are all on this journey. Just to be sitting in this hall, we should be so proud of ourselves that I've had the courage to step into this life to transform myself. Everyone wants a better world, but the Brahmins are the ones who are changing themselves to make it happen. So I think, really we should bring it all into perspective, because sometimes our expectations of ourselves, we can never fulfill those expectations. It's too high.
What about caring for this instrument, body? Do you eat more aloo parathas, which is your favorite when you come to India, or you have?
I've been eating too many recently, but I think I make sure I get enough sleep. I think that's really important. And once again, I think I don't I don't try to be too self-absorbed, just relax a bit, take things easy, things happen. Yeah, I think I've just become a more easygoing about life. And to me, that's looking after yourself. I have to eat well, rest well, all those sorts of things, yeah. Not push myself, definitely.
Thank you. And you also, when you were sharing, you reminded Baba's words. Like Baba says, when someone showers insults on you, you shower flowers on them. So in your journey, have you experienced situations like that? Just yes or no?
Yes.
And all of you? Yes? Okay.
There was a no somewhere.
So what helped you to respond in that way? How Baba wants us to do. And what's, showering flowers. What's your invisible flower basket? As a senior instrument, taking care of a big region, of course, sometimes people may oppose you or have negative feelings. Normally, our first reaction is to respond in the same way, and that can be a challenge for anyone. So I'm sure you may have, you said yes, that you have faced situations like this. So could you please share with us how you dealt with such people? Any interesting story?
Once I was, I just moved in, I think it was 1980, from Melbourne to Sydney. I was first in Melbourne. And I was asked to move to Sydney, and when I got to Sydney there was a Pandav Bhavan, a house with some brothers staying there, and there was a bit of problem there, and they weren't very happy with me. And I came to Madhuban. We had a meeting in the history hall, and when it was my turn I sat in front of Baba, and Baba gave me long drishti, and then Baba said to me, "Is everyone happy with you?" What should I answer? I didn't answer. And then Baba, this just shows you how wonderful Baba is. He said, "Don't worry, some aren't happy with Baba." And it was just amazing how Baba diffused the feeling that I was having. And then Baba went on to explain why some think that Baba met this one for 10 minutes and me for only 3 minutes, and Baba gave this one a better blessing. But in a way, I think that's just helped me just, sometimes you want to be perfect for everybody, and yet sometimes, there's karmic accounts. And for me, I think I just have to remain really knowledgeful and not become too emotional, because I think the greatest pain or challenge for most of us is to be rejected. I feel the human spirit needs love, belonging, care, and if someone just rejects you or yells at you or doesn't speak to you, then usually that has a massive impact. And once I experienced someone who did that for years, And at first it would affect me so much. But I realized it was one of the best learnings for me over time, because I began to think, who's really accepting this criticism or insult? It's my old self, it's my ego self. And
body conscious self.
it's my only, and I had this saying for myself, only my ego accepts sorrow. So each time I was thinking, I'm not soul-conscious, I'm not really in that right space. So, and after a while, I really changed. I think I stopped taking so much, and now I'm quite close to that person. And I think it's like a challenge we all have to go through to get over this habit of taking things so personally sometimes. Because what I've realized also, that we all come under the influence of our past story, our sanskaras, and often we project it on somebody in front. And that can be a partner, a parent, an instrument in a center or something. So we shouldn't take it so personally. Sometimes it is you, and sometimes it's true, some of the things they're saying, and it's like we have to look at ourselves. But at other times also not to be take it so personally that it's sometimes people just have to vent their stuff and their frustration of life.
Oh, wonderful. And you said in your sharing that no matter how people are, you have to, as a bestower, you give the experience of attainments. Could you please elaborate on that?
What?
Give them the experience of attainments.
I think, the language that Baba used, because when I revised them all, is time and time and time again. Baba kept saying, no matter what someone is like. In other words, we might say, Baba, 99.9% are good, but this person, they're just too much, So we always have an excuse, and yet Baba's trying to take us to, a higher place where... And I think what it means by attainments is just... I often think of my mind as a receptacle of vibrations. Your thoughts and feelings create a whole energy. And I often use the language, it's like your mind has a perfume. And when you're with Baba, it's like you download these vibrations. So the perfume of your mind is full of your experiences that influences people in the atmosphere. It's like a natural attainment. We all know, we meet some people and just their presence, you feel light. Who met Daddy Prakashmani and just felt light, just without her saying a word? Look, the whole hall has put up their hand. Because it's almost like her sanskaras were so light. And that's sort of, her attainment is showering on all of us in that way. And to me, this is the real service, because it's service through who you are, your stage and your relationship with Baba. And that's why I think that being the bestower is really going to take us into our higher stage. It connects me to who I really am.
And as you said, that it's the natural expression of belonging to Baba.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, yes. And of course, we have been talking about the bestower, but I would like to ask about the receiver. What qualities should a receiver have? I remember when I first started staying at the center 3 decades ago, there was a group of young sisters who had come around the same time. And our senior instrument, Rutsiben, she had a lot of love and faith on us. And she was very loving and, of course, both loveful and lawful. And few of us experienced her love, that deep love. But some, they couldn't. They didn't experience that love. And of course, they realized it much later after she left the body. And even I remember one sister said after many years that I didn't fully value what we had when she was with us. So we all receive blessings from Baba, from seniors, but those blessings, to truly benefit us. So what should be our state of mind? Because sometimes the bestower is constantly giving, but is it also true that the ability to receive depends on the receiver's state of mind?
Yeah, I think definitely, because it's a lot to do with my sense of self-value and self-respect. Because some receive the love and some receive the law. So we interpret according to our state. So some felt so sustained by the instrument you're talking about, and some listen to the muli and feel Baba is extremely lawful. Some listen to it and feel Baba is so loveful. And that's why this whole journey of rebuilding my sense of self is so important, because we interpret life appropriately. But once I was sitting in front of Baba, and Baba said something to me which created quite a discussion, because Baba gave me a blessing that he said, "You are a soul who doesn't misuse your blessings." And I remember we all started to talk, what did Baba mean? Even I was... And we came to the conclusion really that when Baba gives blessings, it's more like Baba's showing you what you can become. He's showing you that this is where you can reach. When Baba gives you, you are the ancestor soul, you are the bestower. You know, Baba gives these. But sometimes if I sort of take it on now, it can become a little bit, I can have a little bit of ego about those sorts of things. So I think you need a lot of humility, don't you? That you accept the feelings from the person, but you have to be really humble and not allow it to really sort of, go to your head, so to speak. So the feelings, when someone gives you a blessing, the feelings of love and that you absorb, and that gives you, lovely feelings. But I think you have to be careful that sometimes when people praise you, am I deceived by that? Is it praise or is it really... I think words can be a lot of praising, but feelings are real. They're real blessings, and those feelings of love or goodwill or appreciation come from the heart. Yeah.
And also when Baba gives us blessings, and even in one Murli Baba said that it's like a seed and I need to water it.
Yeah.
That means there is an effort at the receiver's end, right? The bestower is giving, but to receive that, I have to put some effort. So there is an effort on the receiver's end, right? So,
yeah. I remember Didi Manmohini once said something like, what's the difference between the Brahma Kumaris and some of the gurus? Because really, she was saying some of them really are pure souls still. Not many, but a few are really. And she said that the great gurus, some of them who are really still pure, still accept praise. But she said the real purity is that we know that it's really Baba's praise. Whatever I've become is Baba's praise. And I think that's why I think the daddies became so great, because they were so great and yet so humble, because they attributed everything they were to Baba. And in a way, and genuinely it wasn't lip service, they really felt, whoever I am, Baba's created me, and that deep humility was so engaging, so attractive.
Yeah, good. So, the time is up. So, could you please, maybe this can be the last question, I think. So, could you please share one simple inner practice that can help us to strengthen the power of bestowing through yoga?
Well, to put a full stop. And to me, that's the ultimate state of a knowledgeful soul. A scene comes in front, personalities, emotions, opinions, we all face with it every day. Because I've observed myself that if you over-process it, you sort of drain your spiritual strength in a way. You get into that self-absorption of too much over-processing and analysing. And if I can really put a full stop, then it means that I remain close to Baba, and those elevated feelings I get from my relationship with Baba keep me giving rather than absorbing in that sort of... I remember once Baba said he went on a tour of the world looking at all the children at Amrit Vela. You know how Baba sometimes says that? And he said the thing lacking was the ability to put a full stop. And I went through a period where I really tried to practice when something happened which would normally get me thinking too much, really trying to put the full stop. And sometimes it's possible. Sometimes, the mind just wants to analyze and go, and it really needs a lot of self-discipline and strength not to over-process, over-analyze. I think it actually makes me weak spiritually, and you come out of that benevolent phase when you do. Yeah.
Putting a full stop. Thank you. So, how was that? So, that was very simple, very practical, and also quite profound. Thank you, Charlie Bhai, for sharing your wisdom and experience with all of us. And of course, we hope we will have many more opportunities to listen and learn from you in the future. Thank you. Om Shanti.
So, thank you both, Charlie and Ranjani. And I think we got the recipe for the lifestyle of a benevolent soul. So, thank you very much.
Om Shanti. So we will have Sister Mohini with us.